Hey guys, it's been a minute, so I thought I would touch base. Sorry I didn't put out a video here like I was hoping to at the beginning of the month. I know we're kind of closer to the end of May, um, but I still wanted to talk about my April reads. I did have a couple pickups here as well. So just a couple house rules or things that have been going on. So first of all, for anybody that is interested in any gaming, wanted to let you guys know that there are going to be a couple game shows or showcases that are happening in June. So on June 2nd is going to be the Sony State of Play. So I'm actually going to be joining the Level 1 Lounge podcast, which I am one of the hosts there, and reacting to Sony. There's also on the Friday, I believe that is the 5th of June, we are going to be reacting to the Summer Games Fest. So at this point in time, it's only going to be Irish Bandit Rob and myself. And also, we will be reacting on the Sunday to the Xbox showcase as well. So that will be early morning, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time here in Canada. So tune in to that. I'm really excited to see what's going on there. So we are recording another episode tonight, and we're going to be having a probably go live on that episode probably Friday, Saturday, whenever Rider Pride gets to that. So that being said, there are a couple things I wanted to kind of go over. First of all, you probably noticed that the background's changed a little bit. Going to admit, I think I got some OCD or something here because the desk was driving me nuts close to a window. I was having the light being blocked. Like to have some airflow, especially in the summer. So decided to move everything around. Still have my bookshelves on one side, books on the other. I've got some Lego behind me as well. Been kind of building some here and there. So, but we are here to talk about books. So let's do that. So first things first, I wanted to talk about my pickups recently here. So one of the pickups that I ended up grabbing here. So what happened was on Saturday. Saturday was my only day off on the weekend. I know it's a long weekend. I had a really, really short one Saturday. So I decided to pick up the first of the Dresden Files. I know that there's quite a few people out here that are familiar with this series. This seemed really, really interesting. Modern day wizard taking on supernatural events. Basically, like Sam and Dean from Supernatural, just a wizard in modern times. There's a bunch of books in this series. I know I'm starting to bite off more than I can chew with this one as well. I kind of got the feeling and the impression it's kind of one of those series where I'll be able to treat it kind of like a palate cleanser. So I'm very interested to get into the series. Right now, though, at this point, this is going to sit on my shelf for a little bit. There are quite a few books that I want to get into, and I will touch base on what's happening with that. So the next thing, I actually picked up a whole trilogy. So I have heard that a lot of people refer to this author as the Queen of Fantasy. So that is Ms. Robin Hobb. I picked up Assassin's Apprentice, Royal Assassin, and the third book, Assassin's Quest. The synopsis of this sounded awesome. I'm very excited to get into this series. Cannot wait. This will be a trilogy that I will get into this year. Not sure exactly when, but I will get into that at some point in time here in the very, very near future. Then I'll go over again future reads here really quick, or here soon. So I'm going to start off by talking about what I did read last month. Just organizing. So what I did finish off reading was the second book. I started reading the Darkwater saga or trilogy. There's only 2 books out right now, so I read The Shadow Casket. this book was fantastic. This whole series is really, really good. If there are any Lord of the Rings fans out there, I recommend this. This is kind of it's not Lord of the Rings, of course, but it's a modern day quest with a group of people, and it's written really well. I was very, very excited to get into this. Of course, the first book was them about trying to steal a sword, and then this next one was them trying to basically survive and start a rebellion. It was a fantastic read. Highly, highly recommend this series. Last month, I decided to also have a little bit of a palate cleanser. I've mentioned a couple times that every time I get into a series where, like, you know what, I need a little bit of a break. I need to read something else other than fantasy for a little while. So one of the things I always do is I find myself reaching for a Lee Child book of Jack Reacher. So this was the one that I read, Never Go Back. A lot of people probably have seen the movie. Of course, this is completely different than the movie. Actually, it's been a little while since I've seen the movie. But this is, of course, Reacher, of course, as always, finds himself in a conspiracy. This time around, he's, of course, trying to find a way to protect this girl who's allegedly his daughter. And he's trying to find out, a little bit more about her and what the situation is, and try to get out of the military again because he's been recalled. It's a really good read. These are always really, really good palate cleansers. I decided that I had taken a little bit too much of a break from science fiction as well. So I read Artemis. And Andy Weir, I love your work. Project Hail Mary, of course, a lot of people are talking about it right now with the movie that's come out. Fantastic film. The book was really well done. I actually prefer the ending of the movie compared to the ending of that book. Go see the movie if you haven't already. I still say read the book as well. Really well written. This one, it was a slight miss for me. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't his best work. So this actually follows a girl named Jasmine who is caught up with trying to commit a crime to try to help out somebody that hired her for them to take over the air supply on the moon. It's a very, very short synopsis of it. It was fine, but don't rush out and read it. Honestly, if you want to get into anything by Andy Weir, I would recommend The Martian and Project Hail Mary other than this. It's not that this was a bad read, just wasn't fantastic. Wasn't one that I'm going to be going to bed thinking about. All right, I read it, moving on. So there is a book that I read that brought me back into fantasy a little bit more for the month, and I really, really enjoyed it. And that was Red Winter. Oh my God, this book was fantastic. It's about a guy named Sebastian who is caught up, entangled with a demon, and they're hunting a werewolf. That's all I'm going to really say. There's relationships that were developed that I kind of knew that was going to be there. I just wasn't expecting it to be as in depth as what it was. So this was actually a really, really good read. I cannot recommend this one enough. But I'm trying to figure out the best way of phrasing this. There is the main character, Sebastian, prefers the company of other men. Of course, that's not an issue with me. But that love story was really heartbreaking to read. It was not, I didn't really expect the details to come out the way that it did. But I mean, other than that, I was here for the story, and the story was incredible. It the way that the character's developed and how he's kind of grown to help out other people, and basically a hunter in France during the 1700s, and he's a hunter in the 1700s, and he's trying to make the most of his situation and trying to help people out while he's got a smart ass demon on him. So really, really recommend that book as well. So one thing I did kind of touch base on too was I did read the Greenbone Saga. I think I touched base a little bit on that as well. So I got into this series here as well last month. And again, it was not... I've never seen The Godfather. I've heard that it was kind of close to The Godfather. So there are 3 books in the series. So we have Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy. So I did read all 3 books. I did touch base a little bit on them on the last video. They were really good, but they there's a lot of time jumping, so it was kind of hard to wrap my head around. They did have different perspectives of different characters, and I felt really connected to some, kind of disconnected and spiteful of others. There's one character that I really enjoy. Like I didn't really care. I should say I really didn't care for at the beginning, but kind of understood his motives kind of near the end. This basically in this situation, this storyline, it's a modern day Hong Kong gang, and they have Jade that helps them use magic. And when in this city, in this era, the gangs have taken over this town, and there are 2 different clans that are at each other's throats. During this time, they also have a situation where they're trying to keep Jade out of the hands of people that are immigrating, or they don't want to have it shipped over to other overseas. They want to keep it basically all for them, because they think that they're the ones that should control it, because it's embedded in their heritage. So great series. I felt that it was a little dry at the time. They're still 4.5-star reads for me. But again, I don't think I was in the right mindset of this series. So it was good, but it was just not quite what I was expecting. I thought it would be a little bit more bloody, a little bit more fighting. Not that there wasn't any, but there was a lot of political stuff that was going on behind the scenes, trying to keep Jade away from certain people, and moves kind of behind the scenes. It was good. Again, still 4.5 for me. Still a good series. Still recommend it. Just don't be going in expecting this awesome full-out war that's constantly happening. So I want to touch base a little bit on what I am currently reading, because we are coming close to the end of the month, so I might as well just kind of tell you what's going on. So I did finish Jade Legacy the beginning of the month. So I actually started reading the Riviera Revelations. I'm probably butchering the name, but I started off with reading Theft of Swords as soon as the camera clears up. So this follows a guy named Royce, and I'm going to butcher his name as well, Hadron. And Hadron is the mercenary, and Royce is this thief. And they are hired to steal a sword. And when they're stealing this sword, they get accused of killing a king. So then they kind of get stuck in the middle of this conspiracy and trying to prove their innocence throughout the course of this book. I am reading the second book as well, which is called The Rise of Empire. I'm currently about halfway through. Actually, I should say I've read 3 books in the series technically, because each book has 2 books in them. I don't know. I still think that it's one book. So this is book 2. I'm halfway through. The next one's sitting on my shelf, ready to go as well, which is Heir of Novarion, which is going to be the final of this series. It's going to be a little bit of a longer read, but I'm very excited for that, to get into it. It's these characters, they're so likable, and the way that they play off of each other's emotions and the banter and stuff back and forth, it's really, really cool, really funny. And I actually, it reminds me a lot of the relationship I have with my friends, basically, right? And it's kind of the way that we've all treated each other. So I do recommend this series as well. So far, it's been really, really good. So I kind of will fill you guys in on what I'm thinking here for future reads. So once I'm actually done this series, I've heard way too much about one particular science fiction series, and I've got to get into it. I'm itching for it. It's actually got to the point where I've thought about putting this series down and just jump right into it. My brother-in-law is reading it. I've heard about it everywhere on BookTube, on I guess TikTok has it as well. People have really, really blown up the hype for it. I have the whole series, all on hardcover. Very excited to get into it. That is Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm very, very excited to get into that series, but I do want to finish this one first. I also kind of feel like I need a little bit of a break from fantasy. Not that I have there's anything wrong with it. I'm at the point where I need a little bit of a palate cleanser. So that being said, that is going to be the next goal, is to read that series. I do have the Legacy series sitting on my shelf. Probably after that, I also have, once that's all done, I know what kind of mindset I'm going to be in once I kind of get through Dungeon Crawler Carl, is I'm going to be getting into the next Assassin's Creed game, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about it tonight on our podcast. Very excited to get my hands on that one. So that being said, I'm going to be probably going through a little bit of an assassin kick and get back into reading those. So there's a couple books that are kind of a tied to it. Like I do have the Nevernights saga here to read. And I've heard really good things about Jay Kristoff's writing. So I've actually picked up Empire of the Vampire, Emperor of the Dawn, and Empire of the Dam, and Empire of the Dawn. So I have those 3 books. They are on my list as well. They're vampire books, kind of a little bit different of what I'm normally reading. So those are kind of what I'm going to be getting into the next little while. There are quite a few books still on my TBR. Again, my goal is 25 or 50 this year. Currently I'm sitting at 23. So I'm going to hit my goal probably sooner than the end of the year. But once that's done, I'm going to be taking a break from these trilogies and these shorter series and these one-offs, and I really want to start tackling some larger series. So one of the series that I failed to mention that I want to get into this year is the First Blade saga, or First Blade. So that's going to be written by Joe Abercrombie. So I actually have all 9 of those books. They are on my list as well to try to get to this year. Did promise a friend at work that I was going to get into a Throne of Glass, I believe is what it's called. I'm not going to read. Don't bother suggesting a Court of Thrones and Roses. I'm not going to read it. I am not a romantasy reader. I did get my sister into that genre. I read Fourth Wing, tried to read the second book, and Violet just drove me nuts. I can't do that series. Hot take, I actually feel that romantasy needs its own section in the bookstore, because it's gotten to the point where I don't care to read a romance-based fantasy. I want to read fantasy. I'm okay with romance being sprinkled in. That's the way that I personally am. I'm here for the story, not necessarily for the relationships. So, I mean, that's kind of where I am. So there are There are some books that I'm really interested in getting into this year. There's still a lot for me to read. Looking at this pile, I did not think I actually read that much here in the last little while. So, but yeah, right now I'm currently sitting at 23. I'm aiming to be at 25 before the end of the month. I don't think I'm going to hit that goal, to be honest. I'll probably be done this next one here in the next few days, but I do not think I'll be finishing the Heir of Novarion next. So, but I will let you guys know how that series is. As of right now, really enjoying it, really going to be recommending it. So, that being said, thank you guys for all tuning in and letting me ramble about my books and about what I'm reading. And also, I really hope that you guys also tune in for our reactions to everything video game related on the Level 1 Lounge podcast. So like it if you guys tune in there. But I mean, other than that, thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great day.